I'd like to thank all of you who've been interested in my uploaded French helmet videos. I'm glad you're interested in them. This one is a French model 1945 steel helmet. It was intended to be the replacement for the Adrian pattern helmet. Production of this helmet started in 1946 and continued until 1951, when the French adopted their own version of the M1 steel helmet called the M51. Production of these Model 45 helmets ran to around 30,000 helmets, with 2/3 of the production being issued to the Air Forces and painted blue, and the rest was issued to the Army and painted Army olive. So the rarest ones are the Army coloured ones. This is an Air Force coloured one. Most of these would go to the war in Indochina with the French. The French would, in inverted commas, lose them in preference to their M26 helmets and American M1 steel helmets that they used instead. When this was replaced by the French version of the M1 steel helmet, most of these were sold to Syria in the 1950s, and the Syrians used them as tank crew helmets for crews of ex-World War II German Panzer IVs and Stug assault guns that they had. And it has this big rubber bump pad on it, so it's not an exclusive armoured fighting vehicle crew helmet. It was intended to be an all-arms helmet issued to every unit of the French military, but it only got as far as the Army and the Air Force ground troops, as it were. They hated it. They hated the practicality of the helmet. It wasn't very practical, so they ditched it when the French M51 Euroclone M1 helmet came out. And like I says, the bulk of these went to Syria. Finding one in the Army olive is very, very rare. The most common one is the Air Force blue one, like this one is. Unusual helmet. Inside it's got a large printed maker's mark. There's two makers of the helmet, and this has got the common maker's mark, which we'll have a look at. So inside, if we take it out, you can see the liner, and down there you've got a huge maker's mark of Frank, and usually the date is up here, but it's obscured. So there are two makers. This one's Frank and his address in an oval. So that's the French model 1945 steel helmet. Quite an interesting addition to the French helmets. They're not easy to come across now, but like I said, the Army one is harder to find than the Air Force one, purely because of how many were issued. More Air Force ones were issued than Army ones were issued. And like I said, they all ended up being shipped off to Syria, where they were used as an armoured fighting vehicle crew helmet. So that is the French model 1945 steel helmet. Bye for now.